Hello and welcome back to another video here on the channel. It is episode 61 and we are here in the end dimension. It has been a while since we've been over here properly doing some work. I think the last time might have been about 1 year ago when we worked on our bee farm. That is the portal for it just over there. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I think the time before that we were working on the Ender, but the Ender is where we are going to be working today. Today I want to massively upgrade this place. It's been working fine, it's been working, we can get XP here, but I want to make this even more usable. I want to add different new functions, maybe a shop in here we can sell different areas access to. It's going to be very exciting. So the first thing we've done is we've disabled the farm. That stops any Endermen falling down into this area here so we can work just here. But thinking about it, they must all be piling up there. So maybe what we should do is let's grab some of our spruce blocks, which I'm using. I'm going to grab some torches just in case. Let's put our helmet back on. Let's go and fly up to the spawn platform. Now what I'll do is I'll put a link to the video where we built this farm in the description. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up here. Actually, if we block off that endermite so that can't be seen by the Enderman, then they won't run down this platform. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pillar up just like this, and if we place some blocks around this endermite, hopefully that might be just enough to stop any enderman seeing it. And we're also going to place some blocks on the top just to stop the enderman reaching it, because the enderman will actually try and kill this endermite, which obviously we don't want to happen. Took us quite a long time, I think, if I remember rightly, to get that enderman there. You know what, let's place some blocks around here as well, and that should make... Whoa, that was painful. Oh, it was berries. Oh, whoops, I punched it. There we go, we'll place those back down. There we go. Now the enderman should stop falling down into that pit. Yes, there we go. So we've got some spawning. They're not running to this platform. I mean, there are a whole bunch of them down here for the time being, but we can go and deal with them just now. And there we go. So I'll kill them off. I'm going to get rid of all our ender pearls by throwing them back into the system just like that. And I think, right, we should be safe. I'm going to remove a few blocks just so we've got a bit more room to work in. So firstly, we need to work out what we're doing with this place. Now the main idea is we're still going to have the Enderman chute right there. That is where you're going to stand, you're going to get the XP, you're going to be killing the Enderman. But it's these areas around here that need to be sorted out, because this shulker box loader, which we did build and someone has used it and left some ender pearls in there, it's not being used well enough. We don't need it. And again, ender pearl storage, yeah, we'll probably have some ender pearl storage, but again, that's not really needed. And it'd be nice to really smarten this place up and make it look a bit better. So you know what I'm going to say. We are going to go to the testing world. We are going to design what we are going to be building, and then we're going to pop back on here and actually construct it. So I've headed onto the testing world, and luckily enough, I've actually found out where we designed the Enderman farm. Now actually looking at it, things are different compared from here to the other place. So we'll bear that in mind when I'm reconstructing this thing. But I think the first thing that we are going to do is we are basically going to destroy everything on this side in this line just here, and everything on this side just here, including the storage, because we're going to rework all of it. Stage 1 of my designing is now complete. If we take a look at things, you've got a picture that this over here, this is where our Endermen are falling down. And this here is our tunnel. This tunnel takes us all the way down to the Enderman farm just like it does now. So this is actually a replica of the tunnel. Now we were actually meant to put stairs in the ceiling, which we actually forgot about. So that's something we might have to do when we finish this build and start working on it on the server. But if we take a look at things, we have this tunnel going downwards, and before we even reach the main room, we actually have two options to go off to the side. Now these options will be the same. I haven't duplicated over there because I don't need to, because we know what we're doing, but we are going to have a big helipad there, and that is because we want to give the option to those that like to fly and don't want to go down the tunnel. They can easily fly to and from the Ender. So there's a nice big helipad here. You can swoop in. We've added glass panes around the side just in case you swoop in too fast, you'll hit the glass panes. You won't fly off the edge down into the void, or at least you're less likely to. So I think that gives a nice little option just there for players to get to and from in different ways. Then obviously they'll be able to join on this ice track and join down into the main room. This is roughly what I'm going for. It's going to be really plain and simple. It's got this nice square shape. It's got the orange carpets leading you through directly up to where the Endermen are going to be. And on top of that, you actually see these orange carpets. They're going to be directing you through the Ender. So you will have two options, one to go over this way and another to go over to this side just here. Now, before we go over and work on the two rooms which are going to be on either side of that, I want to add one feature that most people seem to forget in an Ender. You always end up picking up ender pearls. However good your sorting system is, however good your collection system is, you always end up with ender pearls in your inventory, clogging it up that you don't want. And what you end up doing is throwing them on the floor or adding them to a random chest. And that's one of the things we really want to try and prevent with this ender design. So one thing I want to add is I think I want to add a barrel, maybe one even right there. So if we add a barrel right there, and maybe actually, because this is fairly symmetrical, I think we'll add one on the other side as well. There we go. So we'll have two bins. Bins are really simple to make. We'll go and take a look at the redstone for those in just a second. But that means we'll just be able to throw all of our rubbish items in there. They will instantly get thrown away. Now let's talk redstone. We have to deal with lots and lots and lots of items. So how are we going to pull that off? Well, we've got to imagine we have tons upon tons of ender pearls. There will be constantly ender pearls raining on top of these hoppers up here, especially gathering in the middle hoppers. Then there'll be ender pearls that will be gathering in those barrels just there, which are being chucked out. We all know that when we're clearing out our items after a long old session at the Ender, we might accidentally hit some of our tools and then they go into the droppers and the hoppers and they get chucked into the void. And it is one of the worst experiences any of us will witness, and because we put tons of items just there. But if we put it on there, you can see it vanishes, and that's not what we want. We want to be able to keep our precious items. We don't want them going into the void. So what are we going to do about it? Well, we have tons of item filters. Now these item filters are filtering out all of the ender pearls. As you can see, these things are working nice and hard, throwing all of the items into the void. Temporarily, I've just put them in fire as that's the easiest way for me to see what's being burned, but obviously they will be going into the void. And as you'll see, all of our items which we accidentally threw will end up in this chest, which is the nicest feeling. You have not lost your items, and we'll be able to, I think we'll be able to, we might charge a small price for people to get their items back, because they shouldn't have made that mistake, because in this new Ender, the plan is we're going to make a few diamonds. Now we'll also be able to add other item filters. On my testing while just here, I don't have the more mobs head data pack, which means I don't have enderman heads dropping. This means we'll be able to also add another item filter, let's say just on the edge here, that will sort out the enderman heads, and we'll be able to give away enderman heads for free. If, let's say, we do want to store some ender pearls, we'll also be able to take, maybe we can just disable one of these item filters, run it over to a storage system, and that will allow us to store all of the ender pearls up. So that allows us to have lots and lots of different options about saving and destroying lots of items. Now I want to show you this piston door just over here. This is a 3x3 piston door that is 1 block wide. Look at how amazing that is. We're going to be using that for these 3x3 doors. Where are they? So this here will be a 3x3 door, and because it is only 1 block wide on the side, addition to the normal blocks, it means it's not actually, you're not going to be able to see it from the windows, which is even better. But now I'm going to start doing a little bit of designing on what I want to do for these rooms over here. Here we go. Now this is what I'm thinking. Now we've got to imagine this door here is open. We'll be able to close it with the press of a button, or I guess either one of those two sides, but I mean we'll easily be able to change the input device at some point when we actually start to build that up on the server. But if we are to wander down here, one of the things you often need to do at the Ender is enchant. So once we've activated our piston door, we can then wander down this tunnel down here, and you will see we have a nice enchanting setup. Very simple once again. We're using these orange lines to lead people on where they need to go. So directly we hit the enchantment table just there, and there's enough bookshelves surrounding this thing to give this the full enchant of level 15. And now it's time to get building. And we are back on the OmathaCraft server after all of our designing, and well, I mean we haven't completely finished all the designing yet, but we've got the big bulk of it done. It means we can actually get building, and as you will see, I have pretty much torn down the entirety of the old Ender. Obviously the farm is still up there. The Endermen seem to all be down here. They do like gathering up there, and I probably shouldn't kill them as those Ender pearls are only going to fill up the one set of hoppers that I've got down there, because everything else has been completely removed. I've set up a safety platform down at the bottom. If we have a little fly around, this is a little bit daring, but if we fly down, you see I've set up a load of blocks, placed them down, and then double carpeted it to stop Enderman spawning. But that is just to catch at least some of the items when we end up breaking blocks, so they're not all going to fall into the void, and we're not going to get so much loss down there. But now it's time to replicate our build here on the OmathaCraft server. So obviously we're going to start with the main room just here. So we need to obviously get the roof in place. We've obviously got our what are they called? End rods. End rods, that's it. We're going to get our end rods with the orange stained glass in the middle and the pillars in there. And then I guess we'll set up some of the redstone systems. But I think I might wait until the build is done before I get the redstone systems in place, because then we know the space we've got to work with and we can go from there. So that's what I think we're going to do now. Let's get the build started. From what I can tell, we have the actual structure complete. So here we have the main room. Obviously we're missing the barrels on the two corners to dispose of the ender pearls. Again, we're going to focus on the redstone after we've done the last bit of building. But if we head down into the enchantment room, you will see that we have the anvils in place, the bookshelves in place, the enchantment table in place. Then over on the side we've got a few more anvils, we've got grindstones, and then we have some barrels over the side which I'm sure will get filled up with some different bits and pieces. Then down on the opposite side we have this room here, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on once we've done more of the redstone stuff. So it's towards the end of the project we're going to focus on that room there. But for now what I want to be doing is I want to come over here and I want to build up the landing pad, because this will really tie the build together. If we were to fly out and swoop around, this thing actually looks really cool. It looks quite a lot like a space station, I think. And if we land down here, I'm loving the look of this when you're coming down the tunnel. Let's head to the start of the tunnel. Now, we've got to ignore these signs because I've been putting signs down to remind people not to come here. Yeah, I love how you can see the different rooms off to the sides. And once we have the helipads, that's going to make a real difference. So that is what we are going to do now. Oh, yes. That looks insane. I am loving it. Those helipads have just made it. So we can glide the whole way from over there right down onto one of these helipads, just like that. And if we accidentally go too far, we're only going to hit these glass panes, which is such a nice addition. And we'll land on there, and then we just wander through. We've extended the ice tracks up into the helipad, and then we wander straight down into the Ender. I am so excited. This is so much better than it was. I am loving this a lot. So what redstone needs doing? Well, firstly, we need to sort out the collection system. Secondly, we have to sort out these redstone doors over here. Thirdly, we have to start working on the redstone, which is going in this room here, and how you access that room. Yeah, so there's a fair bit to do, but what we're going to do first, I think, is we're going to do these redstone doors, because they're pretty compact, and I want to make sure we get them right. Now, I believe if we were to come in here and just place our blocks in like this, we hopefully should see, you know what, I'm going to put a sea lantern in the middle. I think that's going to look a little bit nicer. That's going to be our door shut. Now, I believe the activation lever is if we break some blocks up here. I can't even reach that, so I'm going to break some blocks. We'll make sure to come back and fix that all, and typically we can't reach it even from doing that. Oh, I'm making a right mess here. But if we press this lever here, hopefully, if we jump back down, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not too sure what I've done there. I will do some more tweaking around because, yeah, that's definitely not right, is it? And now we have our two doors in place. Now this one over here, we are going to be doing the input system a little bit differently from the other door on the other side because of the room that's going to go back there. But for now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show off this one here. We have a button just here. If we press the button, you will see the door closes. And if we press the button again, the door opens. And we have the same on the other side, meaning if someone traps you in here, you can actually open the door to get yourself out again. So that's nice and simple. And I'm going to quickly show you how this works. So we have the piston door built in, as you saw in the testing world. It's all double carpeted, as is the rest of the place. That is because Endermen cannot teleport to double high carpets, hence why we have done that everywhere to stop them teleporting outside of our room. So this T flip-flop is activated by the button. The button is on this block just here and runs into this piston, or the button on this side also runs into this piston. This piston lifts up this observer, which pulses that piston very quickly, meaning it will spit out its block. That means its block will end up in this place here with that powered repeater running into it, meaning that will then power these repeaters here, that redstone dust there, therefore activating the door. So it's quite simple. When you start to get your head around it, I know it does look quite messy here and it is quite compact in, but this is all working perfectly fine. But with that done, I think the next thing we need to work on is the item sorter. We need to get to deal with these ender pearls like we showed off in the... Well done, Vloop. I mean, it completely distracted me from my recording, but well done, Vloop. You've got hot tourist destinations. I think that's visiting all the nether biomes. Well done, well done. But yeah, let's sort out this storage system. We're going to build up what we built up in our testing world. We're going to put in these item filters and then also a backup system where it'll rescue your items. So where is this ender pearl storage going to go? We're going to have some minimal ender pearl storage, I think, and that is going to go in this room down here. Now this room down here isn't free to access. If you want to access this room, you buy a pass. This is a season long pass, meaning you can use it all season long without having to pay again. In here we're going to have ender pearl storage and some other bits and pieces around the room. So it's quite exciting what we're going to be putting in this room. Let's jump ahead in time. Now we are ahead in time because the Ender is now open and complete, and I want to show off the redstone we built up. Obviously we saw it in the testing world. I thought I'd show you it here on the OmathaCraft server. Tons of Endermen in here. I'm going to show you a little bit about the members club. Obviously we've got the enchanting room. We already saw that and we've worked that all out, but let's go and take a look at the redstone behind the sorting system. Now you've got to picture the testing world where I showed you off, because currently it's all covered in double carpets to stop all of the Endermen teleporting to it. But we have these item filters in here with the ender pearls in, and we have one for the barrel on the left, and then we have 3 for the middle, and then we have 1 for the barrel on the right, and then we have basically a backup one, and that backup one is just in case we have any overflow that will cover us nicely. Those ender pearls then run into these droppers, which are then dispensed in the void. As you can see, we have ender pearls falling into the void, just disposing of them because we don't need them at all. Now for that one overflow hopper, as we can see just here, they will, instead of being dispensed into the void, run into this dropper. This dropper will take it down a water stream, and I seem to be quite stuck. So you know what I might do? I might pop in here, and I'm just going to grab one of those ender pearls. We'll use that to get us out of here. There we go, that worked quite nicely, and that water stream which carries those ender pearls runs all the way up here and into these barrels which are in the room down here. As we can see, can we see? I'm not sure if we can see. Here we go, there we go. As you can see, there are a bunch of barrels, and that is where the ender pearls are running into. But you may also be wondering, well, what happens to items that you accidentally lose in here? And if we can sort of sneak down here, let's see if we can do that. There we go. They will run all the way through this hopper stream just here into this dropper, and go down a different water stream, which takes them all the round to the back of the members club. And in the members club there is a barrel on the floor, which if we pop inside, you know, we're going to break in this way. That's the nice quick way to get in here. You'll see there is a barrel. This is where the enderman heads end up, and your items if you accidentally throw them into the storage system. And over here, as you can see, this is the actual ender pearl overflow storage for the members. If they want ender pearls, they can get access to them just here, and you can actually see the water stream on the side just there. And also in the members club we have cake, because obviously we have to sort out our priorities. What do you want when you go to the Ender? You want cake. I know you do. And I have a few ideas of things that we're going to add into this room in future episodes, and to develop the members club so more people want to buy their pass. To get out of the door, we can just press this button just here. And if we pop back out after a second, it actually closes up behind us. But how do we gain access to the members club? There's no button on the wall for us to click like there is over for the enchanting room. Well, we are going to have to do something else. Over here, there is a book which explains the Ender members club. It gives you some other information about how to get in there and what you can gain from getting a members club season pass. In here, as you can see, these are the season passes, and I have one in my inventory, I have one for myself, and it seems someone has actually already bought one, which is quite exciting. All we have to do is we have to place our Ender Club pass into the barrel just like that. The door will open up. If we walk straight through, there is actually a carpet just here, and under here is a water stream where your pass gets sent all the way back up through, even before you've managed to walk through the door, meaning you'll pick it up straight away. A little interesting tidbit for you, you can actually place carpets on water. As you can see, I can't place down here, I'm right clicking it, nothing is happening. But if we have a carpet next to it and we right click, we can have a carpet sitting on top of water, which works perfectly for us. But I tell you what, I am really impressed with how this Ender has turned out. There are so many improvements we have made in today's episode. We've pretty much made an entirety of a new Ender, which I absolutely love. But I tell you what, I am loving the look of the space station themed Ender, and you may also have noticed that in the corner of my screen I had beacon effects in the Ender, and that is because using some of the beacons we have, I have placed down, how many is it? It's 4 beacons down here to get these effects. If we close the book there, we have jump boost 1, speed 2, strength 2, resistance 2, and regeneration. So that keeps you nice and safe in the Ender, and there we go, that's a nicer view of seeing all of the Ender pearls raining down. But unfortunately, that is all the time I have for today's video. This video is just about to go live on YouTube, so I need to get it out and rendered. But thank you very much for watching today's video. If you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.